Hi, and welcome back to my stories on how I started a food company. Today I'll be focusing on the topic equipment and machineries. The first thing you have to note about buying your equipment for your business is that it's guided by some food safety laws of hygiene. The first rule is that all catering equipment that come in contact with food must be easily cleanable and also be in good repair. So to be able to comply to this rule, you would need to buy materials that would be easy to comply to the rule. The first one that would be good are usually things like stainless steel, food grade plastic and laminate. You can also use materials that are made of copper or aluminium, but they are not as durable in the catering industry. The one to avoid is wood. Materials made of wood are not as good because they can chip and shed into the food. If you have to use this for certain recipes, for instance like a wooden spatula for mixing things, you would need to keep a register of those tools and keep them separate from other tools in your kitchen. You can also train your staff to daily check those wooden items to make sure they are in good repair. The question that many people have phoned me to ask me is where do I get my machineries or tools from? To get machineries, you can do an online search by using just the search engines like Google, Yahoo or any other search engine. You type in what exactly you are looking for and you would have a few or a lot of manufacturers or suppliers that should be on that would have advertised online. The other place that I normally go to learn of machineries and where to buy is trade fairs. There are trade fairs around that you can visit and see what's in the market and what machineries are new that you can buy. You can also buy magazines, trade magazines, or just simply talk to other people in the business. The other question that people ask me is, how do I know what to buy? Well, you can write down a list of your menu, then go through the processes and see what equipment those process would require. For instance, if you are making baking cake, you will need a mixer, you need some plastic bowls, you will need an oven, you will need to have a tray, you will need baking tins. So this is how to write down what you need and then go out onto the internet and seek out suppliers of such items. The final thing that people ask me is they don't have the money and they would need to buy so and so and so. Well, what I did when we started and what we still currently do is to go through either hire purchase or lease purchase. This helps you to buy large capital equipment that will last you for years, because with catering equipment they last up to 20, sometimes even 30, 40 years. So what you can do is buy such equipment on leasing and spread the payment over 3 to 5 years. This helps you to manage your cash flow better. It helps you to buy an equipment that you would otherwise have not been able to buy because you would have £30,000 or £20,000 in your account, and these lease companies will help you buy them, place it in your business for use, and you can start using them immediately to generate money. And all they would ask you is monthly payment and a little interest on top of the capital payment that you have taken from them. This is a good way also with your accounting because it helps your tax and other benefits. I use this option and I would recommend it. That is the best option that I've seen in the catering business. The other thing you can do to keep the cost down is to buy second-hand items. This I do not recommend if you can avoid it, because I remember when we started out in 2002, we went down to somewhere in North London, Park Royal, and we bought a packing machine from a pizza factory. We got back to our unit, and within a week the machine broke down. We were so big that it's not something you can just dump in a bin, in a rubbish bin. So we had to actually pay professionals to come and buy to come and remove the machine from our premises to scrap and get rid of. So you have to be careful when you are buying second hand. Make sure it's still very in good condition, fairly or newly or almost new. Don't go for old equipment that other businesses should have thrown away, but because you are new and they just take advantage and dump it into your own food production premises. The final thing to know is that when you buy this equipment, you have to have considered your premises. Where are you going to put those equipment? Especially if they are the large ones, like a rolling machine, for instance, could be as long as 10 feet. Do you have sufficient space? Would your layout accommodate such equipment? The other thing that I note, when we started out, we bought some big packing machine, and we had to really, with the help of neighbors, force it into the premises and actually cut up the door because we didn't measure the dimensions of the machine, and when it came, it was a bit high, and some of them come out also very heavy. So if you are on the first floor or a second floor of a building and you're going to be putting them into a lift to get into your premises, you have to check that the capacity of the lift of your premises will be able to accommodate the machine weight as well. So these are all the things that I have suffered, because I remember buying a machine that we now have to physically get neighbors and friends and family to come around to help us lift it up the stairs into our industrial premises. So I would advise you to check the dimensions, check the weight of the machine, and make sure that it's in good repair as well. Finally, when to buy it from China? Some people would ask, oh, I found a machine is in China, is it a good idea? I do not know. I've not or ever have I ever bought any equipment from China. I always stick to European and UK made, because the engineers in UK are more familiar with machines that they manufactured, and so the maintenance and the repair, it will be cheaper. If you buy from China, you might not be able to maintain it because the engineers in UK might not want to touch such machines. The other thing that you have to note is that I also know of a colleague that bought a machinery from China, and it was just standing in his unit because the wiring system did not comply with UK standard, and therefore he was unable to install the machine. So be careful how you buy, where you buy, what you do when you are acquiring tools and machineries. I hope I've been able to help you with a few tips I've given and my experiences when I started a food business in acquiring machineries. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode.